So next we move on to the next toolbar and for display controls, which is by edge and face colouring. So this is an important step because it allows us to understand how edges and faces are connected or are disconnected from each other. And this is important because of the topology tree. If we take a number of edges, in order for them to make a face, those edges need to be connected together, so they need to share vertices. And similarly, if we have a number of faces or surface bodies and we need to stitch those together to form a volume or solid, they all need to be sharing those edges, so that then we can stitch them all together into a complete set. So there's a tool here to be able to understand, more easily understand by colouring of the edges and faces, what the current status of that face or edge is in relation to its neighbours. So as far as the edge colouring, we can display colours by body colour or by connectivity, and we can see on the bottom left hand side the type of connectivity for that particular edge. So blue edges represent free edges, red are single edges, black are double edges, pink triple, yellow multiple, etc. On the right hand side we can see a group, an assembly of surfaces, and we can see just by looking at the colouring of the edges how the edges are connected to each other. So the yellow edge in the middle infers that we have multiple faces all relying on that single edge, so it's multiply connected, so it's yellow. Beneath it we have the two faces with a black edge between them, and that infers that there are only two connections, so we have two faces relying on that single edge in the middle. Around the outside we have the free edges, which are all marked in red because they only have a face, they're only supporting a face on one side. And then we have on the back, on the left hand side, we have a single blue line which isn't supporting any faces and is just a free edge, so that's marked in blue. On the bottom right hand side we can see the face colouring options, which can be done by body colour, thickness, geometry type, and also by name selection, which is identifying a specific zone for a group of faces. And so we can see that's displayed on the bottom right here by name selection. So the name selections can be used to assign particular, for example, boundary conditions when we get to the solver and things like this. So that's also a useful way to colour it by name selection, so we can understand where we've applied a name selection and where name selections have not been applied.